So I wasn't.
That's all in order? Start with pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. So Tim Crevin here.
Michael Green here.
Roxanne speaking here. Tracy Dunn, the model is here.
All right, so the first thing we have is approval of minutes. So everybody had a chance to take a look at the minutes? Any corrections needed?
Yes.
Yes? Okay.
Sorry.
Entertained only.
All right, so we have the signature items. We have the personnel form for Jared Wheeler.
Right here, these are just to be signed up for the person. Hey, this stuff. These personal forms for this check.
Yep.
So those all come down.
Wire. Effective today's date. Alright. Jared, can you come up and sign?
This is going to be paid. Let's go.
You're good.
What's
All
that?
prepared, man.
This is not.
Exit, which is that.
Probably is. Yep. All right, employee of town Middleton, so we're going to set $1,000. Beginning. January 6th.
Quicker.
Yeah, there we go. That's it for now.
For now.
News. This is for concrete. This is on 25. There, perfect. Run Willis. Thing.
That doesn't work. You too.
Yeah.
All right, the next thing we have is the AP payroll.
So can we, so I'm gonna actually make a motion that we move that to, down to like for the GIS mapping?
Sure.
And then, also one other insert, can we put in, after line 10, Chair would like to speak.
Absolutely. So in that case, we're going to do the police chief swearing in. Scott Ferguson. Come up. All right. So, you raise your right hand. I do solemnly swear, or do solemnly and sincerely swear and affirm. Solemnly and sincerely swear.
Do solemnly and sincerely swear and affirm
That I will faithfully
that I will faithfully
and impartially discharge
and impartially discharge
and perform all the duties
and perform all the duties
incumbent upon me as police chief
incumbent upon me as police chief
of Middleton,
of Middleton,
New Hampshire,
New Hampshire,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeable to the rules and regulations
agreeable to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution
of the Constitution
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
and the laws of the state of New Hampshire.
So help me God.
So help me God.
I do this under the pains and penalties of perjury.
I do this under the pains and penalties of perjury.
Thank you. I'm the police chief. Yeah, is there anything you'd like to say?
Thank you all, and we're gonna have a little coffee here in the near future, so please come down and take a look at PD, say hello, introduce yourself. We'll put it on Facebook, and I'll have to put it on the house.
Absolutely. All right. Okay.
I state your name, solemnly. Right.
I, Jeremy Stewart,
Do solemnly and sincerely swear
do solemnly and sincerely swear
and affirm that I will faithfully
affirm that I will faithfully
and impartially discharge
and partially discharge
and perform all the duties
all the duties
incumbent upon me as fire chief
incumbent upon me as fire chief
of Middleton, New Hampshire,
of Middleton, New Hampshire,
according to the best of my abilities,
according to the best of my abilities,
agreeable to the rules and regulations
agreeable to the rules and regulations
of the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire.
of the Constitution and laws of the state of New Hampshire.
So help me God.
So help me God.
This I do under the pains and
Yes,
penalties
sure.
of perjury.
This I do.
Yeah. All right. Next thing we want to do is recognition of the outgoing fire chief. That's you.
Yeah, so I'd like to take the opportunity. She's not here, is he? Oh,
There you go.
stand up, please. So we'd like to recognize Michael for all his time that he's dedicated in providing time to the town of Middleton on the fire department. He's not going anywhere, he's staying with us, he's just stepping down as chief, and we appreciate that. He's been on the
21 years,
this month, right?
as of January 1st.
January 1st, so thanks.
Thanks for telling me I'm old. I'd like to also take this opportunity to thank the Board of Selectmen, who also had my back the entire time I was chief. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank each and every one of you, Scott included as well, for your commitment to making this town better. So thank you.
Jim, can I just sneak in here since we did a 1 anniversary?
Absolutely.
I have 2 more. Griffin Parks on January 1st hit 15 years of service for the town, and Lester Kimball, our jack of all trades, hit 11 years at the end of this month.
Congratulations.
So given that,
Yep, now we're going to go to Jared.
Yes. In 2 seconds.
while we're waiting, what's called, I'm gonna make a suggestion that we move number 11 down to after number 17.
If you want, Tracy, you can make your updates while we're at least here.
I'm good.
Okay.
Good, all right.
A couple of things real quick, I just wanted to talk about, obviously, I'm new in here, but due to the time of the year and the way that the budgets are unfolding here, I just wanted to present a couple of things. The first thing is a fairly easy one. There's some security upgrades that need to be done to the firehouse with the medication storage and such that we have in there. I just wanted to bring it to you guys, and we have some money left over in the capital reserve for the addition on the building. Just wanted to see if it was okay with you guys that we use those funds towards that. If
Yeah.
nobody has-
So, would you like to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we extend money from the fire addition and capital reserve funds. Not to exceed what the balance is in there. I don't know what it's in front of me. I don't have it in front of
I think
me.
it's just over 14,000.
So not to exceed $14,000.
And then the second item is.
Oh, before we move on, we have a second?
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay.
All right, the second item is, after speaking with Roxanne, is a capital item that I'd like to put in for a warrant article. Just due to the rising cost of everything, after kind of analyzing the different things that the town's been putting money away for the fire department, I think, looking at it, I think this year might be the right time to do this. So that comes with engine one, the pumper, the 2003 International pumper that we have. The town's been putting away, it looks like about $25,000 a year towards replacement of that apparatus. We're up to, I can't seem to get it to load.
I can tell you, hold on here.
We're up to, I have it in here, $139,689 in that account. The current replacement cost of that apparatus, relatively in kind, with a truck that'll work very well for this community for estimated 20 years or better. Right now is, and these are rough numbers, these aren't exact, I haven't had enough time to get everything together, so these are rough estimates. They could give or take 10 to 15,000 in either direction. Well, it would be 547,000. With the increases in fire trucks right now at about 8 to 15%, so the 10% increase for next year, that would put the truck at 601,000. That being said, the current truck's trade-in value is north of $100,000, so it's worth about $120,000. Again, give or take, these are rough numbers that I got over the phone prior to having a condition inspection or anything like that. So that would put a finance cost this year at $287,000 after the trade-in value and what we have in capital reserve funds. So that would make a lease purchase payment at or less than what the contribution to the capital reserve fund has been. So therefore, it's no increase based on what has been put in. And then we stop putting money into that capital reserve, essentially using that contribution towards the lease purchase payment for the new apparatus. At the current rate of contribution to replace that apparatus within 10 years, we'd have to increase the contribution to about $100,000 a year to keep up with the current increases in apparatus costs every year. So I just wanted to bring it to the town, show you guys I apologize for my voice, bring it to the town, show you guys what the numbers are just in reality right now, and then give the voters an opportunity to make that decision.
So Jared and I spoke about this, I'm the liaison to the fire department, and so going forward, what we would do for this year, for the next time, until the new apparatus was paid off, the money that we would be putting into typically the CRF each year would be going to pay for the purchase lease. So basically, the money is just going to a different source, we wouldn't be doing, a replacement vehicle along with the purchase lease. It would still just be one, and the amount would be just going towards the purchase lease. And then once that was paid off, then we would go back to putting money into the replacement vehicle for the fire department.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions?
Anybody have a question? Fine.
I don't have my papers with me. How much did we put in that last year?
With 25,000.
25,000, yeah.
So the idea is we would just be shifting that money that we would usually put in that to pay for the. Yep.
Any other questions? Okay.
If anybody does have questions, feel free to reach out. I'll be at the firehouse 2 to 3 days a week. So if you see the car outside, that means I'm there. I'm either over in the office here or in the firehouse. Please feel free if you have questions or concerns, please stop by and talk anytime.
All right.
Oh, Josie,
So that,
we could go out and if we wanted to go back to that.
oh, yes, the meeting minutes.
I just, I know we've discussed this before, if we can get the department heads removed on every single agenda. And the whole public comment happened right down where this is president, when it's I don't know where that's been.
That's just,
I'm just saying that's, none of this was in public comment. It starts now. And I made a motion to nominate Roxanne as vice chair. It said that, made a motion to accept these positions, and I specifically only Roxanne. So, we're going, somebody, I said 51. I just wanted to make that correction. Yeah, I don't know why that's there.
that is something that,
Like if it doesn't have a heading, it won't go down below it, that's what it looks like.
yeah, I have to look at this in order to do it.
And all these, the DOS presentation,
Yeah, I have to
EDG.
put in the,
I'll make the motion to table the minutes until next week. Somebody want to second that?
In favor, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Next is the GIS mapping, I believe.
Yes.
Should be in your folders. I believe this is just for us to have information and for the possibility of putting together a warrant article. So for the moment, I believe that can be tabled for our next meeting. Just for the board to review. Yes. Now we're talking about the HP payroll system.
Oh, we moved it down, thanks, yeah. So this was, we had three quotes that came in for AP payroll systems. One from Town one from MTS, which is MRI, and then the other one was from Edmonds. So everybody should look those over and based off of the presentations we had, I can tell you, my opinion is MTS is the one that I would be leaning towards going for and putting in the warrant article for.
Does anybody have any more discussion about this?
I only got to see one of the presentations. Did you have a preference? Did you like one over the other?
Yeah, I saw all three
Yeah.
presentations. MRI, MTS, which is the same one, they are truly municipal based. They interact with Invoice Cloud, they interact with Town Cloud, no,
no, Avatar.
Avatar, I'm like Women's Aid, and
So we help them all.
Yes, because the GL system is all the same.
it basically, it won't interact with DRA, because DRA doesn't do stuff, but through this, it will produce all the reports we need for DRA as well as the, we'll send over to them. And it is one of the systems that our auditor recommended, is one of the two that. I think, Scott, you were there for that, so I'll let you weigh in on it if you want.
Yeah, I was there for all of them. That one in particular, I liked the interoperability, but also the fact that the individual user accounts for accessing as far as payroll, as far as time off, things like that, can all be regulated and observed, put in for, and handled internally, not only from an administrative standpoint, but by the employee and the department.
Right, so to expand on that, so like department heads could have access to the user ID and they would have limited, but they could print off all their own expense reports and whenever they wanted to, wherever, whatnot. And it offered more flexibility with other users versus just,
Yeah, this is a lot more that you put into read-only. And you get to, even though it's read-only, then you print it off to
But they can't make any adjustments to the system. They can only have the access to print a report, produce a report and then print it off. So what we'd be looking, I just want to put what we'd be looking to do for this is it would be a warrant article and it would be, we would probably be doing that to come up unassigned funds so there'd be no impact to taxation.
So again, your preference would be
mine, it's in the yes,
to go with what Roxanne was saying?
oh, yeah.
Okay. So,
Presentation, which is so.
all right.
If anybody wants to look, I do have a couple of the presentations that they sent to me that was recorded. Like, I know Edmonds was, and I think MTS too, if you want to look at what they demonstrated to us.
Tracy, do you want to table until you have a chance to have a conversation, or until you have a chance to view?
No, I'm good up there. I mean, if it works, if it integrates with the other departments, I think that's what we were going for,
Right.
so
And
I'm good with that.
And their time frame of when to convert over actually kind of works well for us because they wouldn't be able to do this until the third quarter of this year. And it would be obviously after town meeting and getting through, some other things that MRI deals with a lot of bigger towns than Middleton, so we would be looking at fish in the small pond, but I think we should be pretty straightforward and easy to move over. I think the third quarter it should be pretty quick, I think seamless, so.
All right. So I think this is the consensus that we want to move forward with creating a warrant article for that, correct?
I can make the motion that we're gonna move forward with a warrant article to go with MRI.
Everyone okay? Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
There we go. All right. So next is Middleton BOS agendas. The only thing that, or the two things I want to talk about that is I thought it would be good for us to start posting them on Fridays to the best of our abilities. So that way the community has a chance to review them and decide whether or not they want to attend the meeting. Obviously, there are going to be times when that can't happen or when things have to be added. And I think if at all possible, it helps Kim out, and I think it's good for the community. So this isn't really something we have to go on, but it's something I'd like to see us try.
I'm good with that as long as we can add things.
I think that's a good agenda review, yeah, I think so, I agree, I mean, I think it'd be useful to get out there, but I can tell you there are things that happen on the weekend when I'm having my BOS hat on, so that's when I come up with items that I need to add. Before people come in and inundate her on Monday and say, we need to add this and this.
Well, I mean, yeah, and I agree with that, I'm saying that I think that a lot of the items on there,
Yeah,
we can probably get in on Friday.
yeah, no, I agree, because some of it's just repetition as well too.
Before you move on, you might want to leave. I understand this is like slow, but we'd like to get your picture first. If you have your family here.
Let's take this.
Yeah.
We don't have to be here all day.
Yeah. We might want to hang out and hear what we have to say.
Come on, you're telling me that Jared, as a new employee, doesn't want to sit here for the entire 2 hours meeting?
He's gonna say yes for
You
it.
know?
They're standing in front of you? No.
Tracy, do we want to do a blank?
You want me to get wind machine, we can blow the American flag.
Oh, Jake.
Jacob,
Jake.
come on, Addie.
So if everybody doesn't know, Jake Porto is the assistant fire chief.
Act like you like each other. Awesome, thank you.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Scott, you want to do a photo with you?
What's that?
You want to do a photo? No, you don't. Oh, actually, we got something.
Well, we'll just turn, put our hands in each other's.
I'm gonna scoot a little bit more, I'm a centered person. It's not too much. Awesome, thank you.
Grace, can you send those over to the website, social media?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Exactly. All right, overtime, comp time.
Okay, so we just want to address this, as we start the new year, we tend to go a little bit more, I think, laid back as the year goes on. But really, any overtime and comp time should be approved by the department head. So we shouldn't be seeing any overtime unless it's absolutely necessary. We are going to have a pretty tight budget. So just, I don't know if anybody has any else comments or questions about that?
No, just I think maybe we should even remind, if we see it come up again, that we need to be reminding people at our meetings. I'll send out, I have an email.
CEO assessing hours.
So, this is two different ones. Okay, so the CEO, we, the Board of Selectmen have created, well, I think as, when the CEO was initially hired, the intent was that person was to have office hours. We are going to go back to that. It's like these 3-4 hours, they will be set each week, should be the same day, same time. Just so that helps with people who can't get in touch with that person. They would actually be able to come into the building and see the code enforcement officer. Mike, can you?
Mike, would you be able to have a conversation?
Yeah. And then the assessing office hours, I know we have some office hours posted, I think those fluctuate. That have a discussion with our assessing, our administrative clerk, and have those hours updated, because I know they fluctuate because she takes minutes for the meetings, and so that might update, that might change the hours for that day. So I will follow up on that as well. So that those are more consistent with what's online, so that when people come in, you know, they
So Mike will talk to Carl, and Roxanne, you're gonna talk to Robin.
correct.
BOS rep liaison. So are we looking to just fill the positions that have been left vacant?
No, I mean, obviously, when we're all talking to each other, seems to be some stepping on toes. I just want to make sure, the way I understand it is the liaison number one is the liaison. The other ones are only ever backups. So, like, when I hear something about fire, I expect to hear from Roxanne first. I think everybody should be given the opportunity to have the department head reach out to their liaison and adequate time for them to respond without any of us jumping in. That's how I view it. I don't know if any of you view it differently. It seems to, the last couple months, very convoluted. Information's coming from all different sources. It's very, I would think it's more clear if it's coming directly from one person.
Sounds good.
And I don't know, other than the highway department, what else Scott was on.
So Scott was
I don't know what I did with it.
the highway department, he was on conservation, he was Stratford County Commission, legal, Primex,
Was it
And-
primary?
yes, those are the ones you were the primary
The
for.
one changed.
Correct.
Right.
So he's primary for the highway department, Tracy you're the second, so I assume that for the moment, gotta fall to you.
I was over there.
Stratford County Commission, Roxanne, you were the second,
Yeah.
so I assume that you'd be stepping into that role. Same thing with legal.
Yeah.
Tracy, you were the second for Primex.
That's
Yes, no.
No, it's whatever.
Okay, I know this.
Whenever Kim has questions about, no.
Personnel policy, Tracy, you were the second on that one.
Yeah, well, I think that's,
And that's it?
yeah.
Sorry. All right. BOS chair position.
Again, this was a discussion last night, that we did not go down the chair position.
So my understanding, and perhaps I'm wrong, is that like many boards, when the chair has to step down and step away, that's, is it, but the vice chair then assumes that responsibility for the remainder of the term.
I would agree with that for meetings. I don't think it covers for resignation, but chime in. I just want to make sure we're doing things on the
Like I
other.
said, let's I looked at other towns, went by their descriptions, that's what they went with. If the board has a different opinion, that's fine.
So I would say we don't have anything, we have no rule in place as to how we proceed when we have a resignation.
Right.
I'm just saying that. So
We
it
don't
could
have
be,
any procedure for the board.
right, and that, no, other than that we follow the RSA that says that everybody on the board has the
Everybody has equal
equal
vote
say,
today, and
and,
nobody can act alone.
correct,
Yeah.
and the chair is the person who runs the meeting.
And that's, so typically sets the agenda, however, as we have discussed, that's usually a group process. So,
Yeah, I don't know really what to say, because there were people that were curious on why it was just kind of self-appointed when it was the first time that it's ever been done. And, you know, why there was no discussion about it last week, and it was just automatically filled.
well, I mean, we had a quick discussion with that mentioned that as far as what Scott was going to be filling in for Scott while he was stepping down. I mean, if there's more detail or conversation that we should be having. Absolutely, without it.
No, I said, so I guess what it would be is that we just want to go through the motion, and correct me if I'm wrong, is we should go through the motion of just appointing you officially versus sort of say you're filling it in the interim to the next election.
That's fine.
Is that?
Yeah, I think we should, after it was discussed, I think we should,
Oh, go
Why
ahead.
can't we table that and talk to somebody about that, find out how the process actually does go? If he was vice chair, Scott Lapp doesn't become chairman. I think we shouldn't do anything now, wait till the next meeting, and by that time, either I'll talk to an attorney, I know, or I'll get a hold of the state to find out how it goes, if it does go like that, or if it's, you guys wanna gang up and give somebody else the position.
sorry, Ken's gonna use your name for the minutes.
Dan Grumman.
So
I'm
I,
not encouraged anybody to be here, just didn't know.
so I think one of us on the board can take that action to follow up with an HMA, which is free legal advice to find out what the process
I
is.
will too.
And that's, you know,
Yeah, that's fine. And I think we should table on the next one too. There could be conversations about having the meeting between chair and vice chair.
I will say.
It was
I have
here,
highway proposals.
it was number 11. At the beginning of the
oh,
meeting,
yeah, sorry, good.
Yeah.
I just have the letter. Yeah, so I would agree that that should be taken as well, so.
Absolutely.
What's hard to know?
No worries.
I need a longer.
So we're not, the meeting won't happen. So I'm here until the next meeting.
Right. We can make it happen, it's just,
It'll be taken, it's taken, the discussion is taken, so I take it as it won't happen until we have the discussion. That's how my interpretation.
yeah, that was my thought too.
Okay. Yeah, up to, right?
I'm okay with that.
Okay.
There we go. All right, highway proposal?
Can I just, before that, that conversation just gives me pause as the way we did it on the zoning board, which confused me at the time. Who got a previous guy, we're gonna look at chair, vice chair, terms and all that. So while you're checking on the legality of how the EOS does it, I would suggest that you ask about.
Yep, that's actually what's called, I've already have emailed into an HMA about that.
I just don't want to get step in anything
Yeah.
doing ours. I'm happy to do them, I just want to make sure we do them right. Okay, so, now, highway proposal?
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Just reference RSA 676-1, that's the administrative enforcement procedures, method of adopting rules of procedure.
Well, we don't have any.
And the state does give guidance, look it up in here in terms of what those are, but it doesn't say anything about what you do if a resignation occurs. So that would be something I would suggest the board define if other communities do it. I don't know what they do.
Like I said, Wisconsin, so I looked at, hold on, I look for you. Barrington, Nottingham, and Middleton. I went by what they had down there. They're really the ones I could find that have actual spelled out what to do in the case of resignation. So. Okay?
Yep, keep us out. So, did I hear you say that the Board of Selectmen does not have rules and procedures?
Nope.
So I think that might be something you want to put it on your agenda, right, John?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right, John?
For the most part, what's called the board follows the Robert's Rules of Order. However, there's nothing in there that talks about resignations.
Well, no, but John's absolutely right. I'm sure the NHMA will have that all cleared up. That's pretty set. But you should consider creating rules
Absolutely.
and procedures.
Hey, you realize you have two sets of glasses?
Yes, I can't see out of either one of them.
This is for me to borrow.
That's good.
All right.
You can't read it?
All right, how would you vote?
You got yours?
Glasses is-
So,
Oh, there you go.
I think everybody knows me for the most part. Jim Keegan, highway foreman. We've been working on this for a little while. Scott was our primary liaison, so most of, or a lot of the legwork was done with him. Although Tracy and I have met a couple of times on this proposal, and I think she's pretty well up to speed on it. What it is we have a 2012 TerraStar. It's kind of a medium-sized truck, if you will. And in 2012, that was sort of the beginning of these truck manufacturers getting into that, kind of trying it, instead of a full-size six-wheeler. Um, the thought process to buying one and trying one was really a smart move, in my opinion, because probably close to half the roads in town are very narrow, small roads. The size of the truck works really well with that. The unfortunate part was it's kind of a prototype deal. And the thing, at least from what I've heard from Rob, who's been there 23 years, 25 years, he was there when we got the truck. It's never worked right. It was back in the shop constantly from day one. We've spent almost $24,000 on the truck in the last 3 years. Bear in mind that the only use of that truck, that particular truck right now is to plow those roads. We use it in the summer just to run it, try to, keep the brakes clean and, like that, keep the oils going. We use it like to patrol the beach and stuff like that once a week. But we just have had constant issues with it. So we started talking about trying to replace it. Of course, we just went through a fiasco of 3 years waiting for the other truck, and the prices keep going up. And we were quoted, I think, $87,000 on that truck at the beginning of it. By the time we got her, I can't remember what the numbers were. 115,000. So we were watching our pennies and trying to, prepare for that. So after purchasing that truck in the highway block grade, which, if you aren't familiar with it, it's money that is allotted from the state every year, more kind of loosely based on the severity of the winter and the weather impact on towns. And then the amount of the money that each town gets is determined by the size of your town and how much your equipment and all that. So generally we get around, and you can't count on it, but generally we get around 60,000. But we were fortunate with all the COVID stuff and everything, when they were giving away money, we got a couple of extra bonus checks in there, if you will. So currently we have $77,969.36. The quote on the truck, this time we're planning on going with a Chevy instead of you got the number, Roxanne? I know you got it. We'd have about $800 left out of the block grant money, purchasing the cab and chassis. So we have enough money to actually buy the truck. The issue is, you buy a cab and chassis, then you have to put on and the hydraulics and whatnot to run the car. That's another $70,000. We have in our CRF, I was one for CIP, about 40. So we're thinking we'll do a warrant article to try to get 25,000 to cover it. We also have, we will auction off the Terrastar. Get what we can out of that. We're going to sell it with the plow and wood, but not the sander. cylinder, it's stainless steel cylinder. Should last another 10, 15 years, I know, so we'll get some money out of that. We also have the, 2003 or whatever it is out there, that the new truck replaced. So there's money there as well, all of which would go back into the unassigned fund balance, after that, with some other stuff as well that we have options. So there's a little money coming in there. I think it's a pretty good deal, considering the truck is what, it's $140,000, maybe a little more time to get it all ripped up, but at cost of, not from taxation, but from the taxpayers, if you get the money out of the inside, $25,000. So that's kind of where we are on that. Now, the issue, and the reason they think we're kind of putting the cart before the horse here, but these trucks, the Chevys, are built by International in the same plan that International builds their medium-sized trucks. So right now, they built Chevys last year, they're building Internationals this year. However, there's a pipeline of trucks out there, some available. If we can get our hands on one, then we won't have to go through the process we went through with the International, which took, I think it's better now, going through everything for such a route, but I still would want to bank on getting that truck within a year's time. The difference in price between the Chevy and the International was about $12,000. And it really didn't have any, heavy duty features that we felt were, worth that kind of money. And I met with Tim DeBrizio several times discussing these trucks. And the one thing that was concerning me was it going to have the heavier transmission in it? It's the same transmission, same Duramax motor. So $12,000 savings, it was a no-brainer. I also had that we're not going to put a dump body on the truck because of the extent of the expense of it. We've got hydraulic and piston and everything. We've got 1 ton for the small stuff, especially in the spring. We can spread a lot of gravel with that. So we're going to go with just a stainless steel flatbed. It's inexpensive. It's you can get it. So what I'm asking you guys is to approve the purchase of the cabin chassis.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
You said you met with Tim DeBrizio, correct?
Yes.
Did you meet with any other dealers?
Well, I spoke with the guys in Maine who mount the truck, and I asked them, and they said that there was a dealership up there. I looked on the internet, Hilltop only, so those trucks come in 2 models, the heavier one and the lighter one. Hilltop had a couple of the lighter ones, but none of the heavier ones. I only saw them like out in New York and stuff. The deal with
So Hilltop, you didn't call them, you just,
what's that?
you didn't call them, you just
I
talked
didn't
them
call
on, or you just looked online, so you don't know if they
Right.
could get the vehicle,
Yeah.
or for what price.
I mean, we looked at them online and stuff, but we didn't call them. No.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions?
My question is, Jimmy, what about trading? I mean, if we auction off
They
that
wouldn't
little
even
terrace,
take
that's gonna be nothing.
Wouldn't even take it.
They wouldn't even take it.
No.
Now, how many big trucks do we have? 6?
3.
3?
3.
And what's the one that's always sitting over here not being used? Is that the fair one?
That's the one that's going,
That's
that
yours.
just got replaced. Yeah.
So you get your new one? We got the one with the silver bed on it?
Yeah,
And then-
which is a
that was another-
2009, right. And, so, yeah, if you wanted to come over and look at the other one, which is a 15, I believe, which is the second newest truck we have, that has a much better steel body on it.
That's the one you guys.
Because you know, they're state spec bodies, when you don't ask for a heavy duty body, what you get is a state spec body, and those things are junk, they don't last. And you could come over and look at that, I think it's a galleon on that one. You know, it's a rugged body, but it's already rusted. Stainless is the only way to go for what we do, for sure. Yeah, it's, so, and again, you know, Rob's truck is a 2009. And you come in and look at it, it looks really good. But you're starting to see that, and you know, that one having some issues, wire and stuff now with all this computer, you know, stuff that they put on them. And obviously, we fix anything that we can, but with that stuff, you just can't. You'd have to buy 3 different computers, you know, one for the brakes, one for the cab, one for the engine. It's crazy. You just can't do that stuff anymore. But yeah, I think any other questions?
So what you're looking for is to purchase the truck with money from the
block
grant.
grant. Yes.
Did you have a question?
No, I didn't.
Oh, I thought you did, all right. I guess. My other question is there anything that requires us to go to more than one place to get price?
It's not like we're getting bid, have someone do service first, we're purchasing.
Right, but I know that, for example, where I work, anything over $5,000 requires 3 bids. And that's equipment, whatever. And this is 115,000, right?
No,
What's that?
that means this is 77
Oh, 77, okay.
Right. Can I just say that, so
That's just the truck.
in my way of thinking, and Dan's and other people that I've known as well, you know, a good friend of mine, like my brother was the head mechanic in Rochester for 25 years, retired from there. We try to stay with one brand because you're not chasing
Right, so-
parts all over New England.
So if you're looking, like if you're staying with
With
Chevy
international.
or international,
Chevy or, yes.
there are other
There
dealers.
are, yeah, there are, but
So-
you're gonna be going, if I would've bought that truck from O'Connor, if I would've called up there, and this is why, the only reason I didn't, because I think that the price would've been, you know, the difference wouldn't have been much, but the truck would've had to go all the way up there to get serviced, because you bought it there.
Yeah, and I understand that,
So
and
that's-
I'm just curious, like I said, if
Yep.
there's any statutes requiring us to get more than one.
The
Right.
truck would actually go to Hilltop to be serviced, as they're a Chevy or.
I'm not saying you have to buy from
Yeah,
them, I'm just
they-
asking if we,
Yeah, I know,
Required.
I totally understand what you're saying. But I never saw a requirement that we would, you know, we had to get 3
and that's why I'm just asking the board.
So,
And
any other questions?
Not gonna wear, no, it's the service. That's what I see, that indeed has to be under select, prior to being a select, being under, association is concerned.
So like I said, it's just what I know that, you know, so the municipalities that work for, it's always, there's a certain price point, and anything after that, you have to get more than one price. You don't always have to go for that particular place, but you have to have it, and the reason as to why you're going here or there. So,
Do you think you could reach out to Hilltop and get a price on one?
Could reach out to me too.
They didn't have it.
but they might be able to get one, or be able to give you a price as to what it would be.
So,
drag it out for
so-
another 3 months.
no, so
Yeah.
I guess what I would say is, in the next week, because we meet next Monday, you come back and say, these are the 3 prices you have, and what your recommendation is to say it is increasing because of locality, location, and, you know,
Right.
what I'm just saying, because, you know, maybe the price is only $1,000 difference, it doesn't make much sense to, you know, whatever, but, yeah, so I think that's doable, correct?
This time I know I saw your hand.
I did, I have a question. Okay, so, then this is something, if you think it's important for the town to have, rules and procedures, that may be something you put in there.
That's right.
Well, let me just say this before I go any further. When you spec these trucks, okay, none of us know everything about how to spec a truck. You sit down with these guys that sell these trucks, you tell them, you know, I want a heavy duty truck. So, I guess,
Well, you kind of have to pick
well,
right there,
I'm
right?
gonna call Hilltop and say,
I'm looking
I
for,
want 8,500 or whatever. They're gonna send me a spec sheet, then we'll sit down, I guess, you and I, or whoever,
Well-
Tracy and I. and
well, me,
go
yeah,
over
you,
the,
Dan, and Crazy probably.
Go over it and, see if you think it's a good enough truck to buy, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I would think you're gonna, your specs would be comparable from one dealer to the next dealer's next. I'm saying.
Not necessarily. The trucks are already built, right? That's what I'm saying.
Well, you kind of know what you're looking for,
So
right?
then, right, so you can say, this is what they can provide for this cost, and then you can have
Yeah.
agree and say, well, but I really want this feature, whatever. So, yeah, okay, right, okay, so,
Should be a pretty good pain in the ass. I don't know if I can do it in a week, but I'll
that's a
try.
challenge, Jimmy.
Can I ask one more question? So if this is, you're spending money out of a block grant, this requires a selective vote, right?
Yes. Yes, correct. Thank you.
John, did you have one?
Well, yes, I think it's prudent for any municipality, and they're purchasing large items, like you said, that a lot of towns have done. So some are very small, some are very large. But when you go out for bids, it's not the cost to buy, it's the cost to own. But what, if the truck, or whatever you're buying, air conditioner, heater, whatever, the price of that particular piece of equipment or service is one part of the bid.
I agree.
The other part of the bid is how reliable the service, if you need service backup like IT, that kind of stuff. What's the availability in terms of vehicles, proximity to get service done, emergency service, so forth and so on. I think also there's been an informal, and I'm not saying this should supersede good financial management, but we as a town like to support the few town businesses that we have.
And I think,
But financial responsibility supersedes that.
I think that everybody agrees if we can support the town and solve local business, we want to. However, let's go be fine that there's going to be a significant difference between two things. We should also know that.
Well, yeah, that's my point as well. When it's snowing out and something breaks and they get your truck in there and fix it, see how quick they are to do that when you don't buy your trucks from them, but that's just my opinion.
Hold on, covered.
I just had a question. That 77,000, that figure, that was just for the cabin thing.
The truck,
Well,
it's for the truck.
Yeah, it's the truck.
The flat.
Without the,
No flatbed.
those trucks don't come with a body on them, like a pickup truck body or a dump truck body, or you have to.
You have to add on to it. So what is the add-on cost to make it work?
75.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought that was the price of just the base. Okay.
Well, it's
There's two parts to it.
so it's the 77, and then it'd be another like 30,000 for the add-on, right?
70.
Another 7.
So it'd be, all right, so it's 70,000, so it's 140,000.
Right,
Yes.
that's what I was
Okay.
trying to get.
All in.
All in one
But
price.
it's no good without the other 70,000, right?
And actually, that's not a bad price because the new pickup truck's over 100.
Yeah.
I looked at the price of the trucks.
Mike?
Yeah.
Jimmy, I probably missed it. You're looking for a Chevy, not a GMC, nothing of the
Or
pre-sort?
GMC, well, actually, in that model, I don't even know if GMC makes one now. They used to,
Yeah.
but I think just Chevys make one
Because right now, I mean, the pre-sorts are pretty much give pretty good deals out because the new Kias take a lot of business away.
now. Right.
And if you told Timmy that this is gonna be the town money right there, the full lounge,
Yeah.
maybe he'll do something if he can. I mean,
So,
most
I know-
GMCs are built for that.
I've known Timmy my whole life,
Yeah.
and I've bought one pickup off him, I can't buy a pickup.
40 years, he's always told me.
All right, because I don't know why, I don't know, but, they treat the town good, they, you know, in my opinion, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Just additional information for you, so you don't have to look it up. The Municipal Association commented on the question, do you need competitive bids to municipalities? And the answer is no. But it's up to the municipality whether to set it or not. So apparently there's no RSA that says you gotta do that. State does, but.
I think right now we just want to see what the other prices might be. So,
Two things going here.
Yeah.
Truck, and how you do it.
yeah. So we're gonna table this for a week.
Yeah.
Okay. Alright, well, come back in a week. Alright, next thing I have is what's called something I thought we could start adding once a month is just kind of an overview of what's happening in different committees. For example, with the zoning board, the past, so we adopted new rules and procedures, went to a planning board meeting, and there was discussion about the need for a written confirmation from the code enforcement officer on variance requested before the ZBA. We also would like the planning board, or like the CEO to come to our meetings if possible. And we're looking at, which I already did, is the New Hampshire Municipal Association about what's going on with, it's all about whether or not what's called the chair and the vice chair, how they're elected and appointed. So, that was the DVA. The Sunrise Lake Watershed Advisory, oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. Just a quick update. We had a pretty good year in 2024. I have an annual report, which that's not a final draft, but it's pretty much going to be what it's going to be. So,
Okay.
it describes what we did in 2024 and what we planned. We have pretty ambitious plans. We'll start doing that this month in terms of information educational meetings that will occur throughout the year. The other thing in here is that we are beginning to, we have a selection committee that was formed to pick a consultant that works the management plan. Our lead is Stratford Regional Planning. But to do all the engineering and some of this consulting work on watershed and the culvert situation over Lakeland Beach and so forth and so on, we're hiring a consultant that is familiar with watershed, water quality, so forth and so on. And our committee met a couple times, and the committee members were 2 members from the committee, 1 resident, and Stratford Regional Planning, and a DES representative. And we had 3 bids come in. They presented our request for proposals. We went over those. They were quite expensive. I spent 3 hours reading these things. And we made a decision to choose a consultant. Now, we haven't made the final decision based on a couple of questions we had that. So what that means is once that decision is made, then a formal request to go out for pricing on what that work does will cost within the grant, okay, and then we can proceed. consulting work probably would start in the spring, early summer, and digging if there, which there will probably be in the fall. We have a good year and a half to complete the contract, and we will keep the public and the board and planning, Conservation Commission up to date on what we're doing. So that's where we're at. And one final note, one of our members, Cindy Durkee, unfortunately passed away this past December. And she was very instrumental in putting together our newsletters that we got out. We got a couple of them out. She did a lot of work on that, and she will be missed.
All right, any questions for John? No. Planning board.
Do you want to talk about planning board? Should I?
Oh, I can, planning board? Oh, sure. We are heavily into zoning ordinance amendments. We have a lot on our plate, and not enough time to do everything we want to do this year. We probably have 5, 6 items. We've narrowed it down to a couple. We're having a meeting, a regular meeting, a special meeting and call for tomorrow, for 2 hours to go through these amendments. We hired Stratford Regional Planning Planner to go over these amendments, write them correctly, answer some of the questions that the planning board had on various amendments, various items. Those items that were basically chosen, we sent the wording to the attorney. They've already gotten back to us. That was like, somebody said something, I appreciate it, because that was like mega fast. So the wording on what we propose is good for him, so we're good. So we have a crunch time. The planning board is under quite a bit of pressure to get this done because we have a time frame on when the proposed amendments change. We have a hearing posting date that has to be met, set a hearing, a certain date. We've got a calendar crunch.
Yeah.
But we have to have hearings on the amendments, and the amendments have to be approved for the public hearing, for the people to ask questions on what we are doing and why we're doing it.
Like one, like no on the ballot.
Yeah, well, we can put it on ballot, we can have a hearing.
Right, yeah, but I'm just saying.
Yes, we have, by law, we have to have a hearing before it goes on the ballot. Once we, about 10 days before the ballot, before the election, the ordinance has to be available along with the changes and a summary of the changes for the public.
Any questions?
And then those are at the election, they're supposed to be here also.
Any questions for John? No? All right, joint policy committee.
I'll speak to that. We meet quarterly, so this one might not make it every month, or just
No.
one monthly. We meet quarterly with a rep from the highway, one from the fire, one from the PD, one board of selectmen, myself, and then Kim. And we kind of walk through to talk to any concerns we have about the safety and anything else. And everybody goes back to their respective departments and kind of comes back with anything that are concerns that we need to address. And so,
Is that what the joint policy committee does? It's concerning safety?
safety.
All right.
Make sure everybody's safe.
Any questions?
We meet quarterly, so.
Quarterly, so yeah, probably will,
It's not much.
won't be a monthly thing.
Not much to report on that.
All right, recreation committee.
We spent a good part of Friday taking down Christmas tree decorations, and we cleaned up the back room and completely redid it. And so you can really move in there now, and you can see what we have. And we're working on planning our next meeting, and we got a few ideas coming up. Nothing
Which one
in the
was
works,
this?
yes, Christmas was awesome.
Christmas is great.
Yes.
Good job.
Budget committee. Do we have anything for the budget committee?
I haven't yet, they just want to try to iron out some dates for,
Hearings?
yeah.
Right, because we need to provide numbers to them with the warrant articles. Sooner versus later, I don't know exactly the date on that, but
Perfect. All right.
So that's all the committees that are in town?
Conservation, I'm sorry, conservation, I had on there, got changed, I apologize.
All the committees?
oh,
Conservation,
okay.
Well, unless Tracy wants to take it.
Go for it.
All right, we got the proposal out from a forester to create some sort of a forestry management plan for the town forest. And at our next meeting, we'll be reviewing that.
what is next meeting?
That meeting is next Tuesday at 6:30. And then the Tanglewood Watershed Protection Area Committee spoke with a wetland scientist at our last meeting, just bouncing some ideas around about protecting the Tanglewood water, the wetlands there, because the culverts are sitting on top of the soil. And we would like to at least try to get that, an assessment done with a proposal for some grant money, because that's a big push, is protecting our wetlands and getting our water quality up and keeping it. And the word I'm looking for is reclaiming that wetland. And those are two big projects. We'll look forward with that.
Kate, I have a question for you.
Sure.
Are we aware of any property that's going to be eventually moved into conservation or forest or damage?
Yes, I have actually, this.
You have the warrant article that you have?
I actually was holding on to my little warrant articles to the last. I do have them, I didn't know when they were due.
I'll take it down because I'll add it to this, to the other probably.
There's a copy for each of you.
Okay. Is it one page each, or is there 2 pages?
No, that's 1 page each. Three warrant
Sure,
articles.
everybody gets
One
this.
concerns money, one concerns adding another property to town forest, and one concerns expanding, it's a bold move, expanding the Conservation Commission to 5 members, because often we have people say, we would like to come, and then they're like, well, we could always use it. I think if we said, oh, you can be a member instead of like an alternate, I mean, we might get more people.
Let us know how that works out, because.
If you're getting more people, we didn't know secret. Yeah.
What you're doing.
That and $5.
All right, thanks, Kate, so I will add that to my list.
Is that has to be voted on at town meeting
Pardon me?
to go to 5?
Yes,
Yes, it
change
does.
your board
Yeah.
size, yes.
There was, when it was created at 3.
At Middleton and H stuff.
So like, and I think that it's by state law that it could go 3 and then 5.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it goes beyond that for the Conservation Commission, usually it's, I've seen 7 for other committees, but, yeah. Well, I think you can have as many alternates as you want. Maybe not, we'll find out, NHMA, look it up, John.
Wow.
All right. Next thing is budget.
So I passed out to everybody preliminary numbers for budget it includes what we've spent through this year. It has what the department heads had recommended. There is a column for Board of Selectmen. Some of that has been populated in because it kind of falls over from department head. So you need to peruse through that this week, come up with, if you want any changes to that, or come to next week's meeting. I think that's when we need to hammer it all up and come up with final numbers. And that's the same with you. I provided you the warrant articles, the potential, what we're gonna have for potential warrant articles, along with what Kate has. I do believe there might be 2 other ones, so I'll update that, so you have a more updated list, but you can start with the, I think the 20 that I already have come together will be 23 with Kate, so our meeting might be a little long this year, just saying. So that's for review for you guys, and so next week, the idea is to kind of go through this, because it's gonna take us some time to come up with the final numbers, so we can give them to the budget committee.
Hey, I just learned something different, you know? No, my NHMA connection.
You talk about me, or? So you have your homework.
All right. Next is town voting hours for March 11th.
Any
But
recommendations?
here, 7
Any
to 7,
recommendations?
what we usually do.
7 to
7
7?
7.
No, I just want, I know that, so I will make a motion.
I mean, I'd be okay with 8 to 7, but, 7 to 7 seems to work, because a lot of people want to come before work.
I'll make the motion for the voting hours for March 11th, town voting be 7 a.m. to 7 p.m.
Second. Tracy?
And they don't want 7 to 7?
Mike has
I'm okay with 7 to 7.
All right,
sorry.
Mike seconded. All in favor? Aye. All right,
673, 6, thank you.
town meeting location time. Typically it's the Saturday after voting, which would be March 15th, correct?
Right. And the intent is for it to be at the school and at 9, I think it starts at 9.
Would you like me to reach out to the school?
Yeah, we need to, yes, reach out to the school and get that paperwork in process.
I will start that process. We've done it time.
Oh,
I know school's
9
till
a.m. That's
9:30,
9,
so.
yeah, it's 9
9
a.m.
a.m. Perfect.
So I just want, I didn't think it was 10, I thought it was 9. So 3:15 the school.
Perfect.
Yeah, I don't know that we need to go over that, but I guess I'll make the motion that the location work for me at 9 or is it at 8? Was that the So I'm gonna make a motion that we hold the town meeting at the school and it starts at 9 a.m. on March 15th.
All those in favor? Perfect. All right, part-time New Year's holiday pay. Part-time New
So
Year's
this,
people.
I think this question came up with, because we closed the office early
Okay.
on New Year's Eve, and we paid full-time, they're paid, even though they got out of noon time. So the question is the intent to pay the part-time, the hours that they would be missing if they left at noon time? Is that, did I say that correctly? Okay, I don't want, did I say-
If they're scheduled for that
if
day.
they're scheduled for that day, yes, so they were working that day, so.
So what's the discussion of the board?
I guess I'd say, since we made the decision to close, if they were scheduled to work, and I don't have probably for those hours, that they would be scheduled to work. So if they're scheduled to work till 1, then they get an hour's pay. That would be okay. So I'll make a motion that we pay the New Year's Eve holiday pay for part-time for scheduled hours.
Wait 1 second. Any discussion? All in favor? Okay, now come to discussion of replacement BOS number. So, we have one person who put in, but we have another person who currently put in and their email got lost. So we want Kaylee, we just had that email forwarded to the BOS.
You got lost.
They,
It was sent over, but no one knows where it went, and he sent me a message that was confirmed that it was sent over last night.
Can he forward the message that he sent originally? You should be able to, because it will be timestamped.
Yeah.
so, we want to table that until we can get that message.
Yeah, so we can confirm.
Yeah.
Now we can start comments, talk about.
Oh, yeah, maybe.
Alright. So,
That's the table, right?
that's table for there next week. Alright, any public comment?
I moved into the Sunrise Lake Estates area where we can't have wells and we had a check. And when I first moved in 2000, I was paying $33 a quarter. We're now paying for the minimum, which they up to 2 CFMs, whatever that stands for. I know it's a measurement of water. It's now close to $60, and they just filed another, a month, per month. So it used to be 33 a quarter, now it's $60 for using two, which I'm sure some people use quite a bit more. People with kids, multiple people in the house, etc. However, they now have a new motion out with the state, and they're looking to combine, I call them, they're very, sometimes they'll give you straight answers, and sometimes you get, well, we haven't decided that, but you said this out. So it looks possibly that if they don't raise the rate, that they will, it'll be up to 7, would be at a base rate of 9 something or 7 something. Does the town ever look at the burden of this money that we are spending? And as an addendum to that, did they apply for a permit to do all the work they did? They built a house, thing, shed, I don't know how, but it was quite extensive. And they, I think off Jordan, they tarred the road. We're on their roads, but they tarred their road, and that all gets passed to us as residents.
This is an association, right?
It's an association,
But, yes, but we are residents, and we're already.
I mean, we can look into see if they did apply for permits for the work. But I think that's what much we can do.
Yeah.
Regarding.
If no one helps us pay, I'm a resident, I have my own private well, though.
Right.
So if something goes wrong, I'm redigging it.
So with we are too. We're responsible for any damage from the road to the house completely. All the digging, everything that we're responsible for. So I just wondered if the town at least looked into what these residents are being asked to pay.
Actually, I think you can put in the long run.
No,
Not on a third of an
in our neighborhood, it's in our deeds that you cannot put in your own well. We have a community well.
Oh, the NHD, New Hampshire Department of Environmental Sciences highly regulates pension. I see their permits coming through the Conservation Commission all the
So they
time.
do
You
have
can
permits.
you can double check that online. It's pretty simple.
Kate is pretty up on the whole water situation.
Absolutely.
So, so this would be a concern factor regarding the cost of them through your association. So that's who I would go to over there. Regarding what Tim said, we can certainly check and see if they put in full permits to do any building and whatnot. But other than that, our hands are kind of tied with that.
I thought it was too interesting for you to see how much that changed.
Yeah.
Well, no, because we did.
24 years.
Right, well, we've gotten comments regarding what's going on up there, and it came back as Penachuk, they're doing, some work and whatnot, so, yes, I think I got a call from several different people regarding that, saying, is somebody building up there without a building permit? It's like, okay, it's not a house going in, so.
I think, if I might be wrong here, but in terms, utility rates are reviewed and approved, disapproved by the Public Utility Commission. So when Penachuk asks for it's a municipal, it's like Eversource. They gotta go through a hearing. So if you have concerns, I know it's difficult, even to find when a hearing is posted for that matter. If you can find out when they go before the PUC's public meeting, you can go there and express your concerns about and ask questions. How many people show up for these things? Public? Only large users, I would guess. I wouldn't think an individual homeowner or even an association, not to say that Sunrise Lake Estates couldn't do that as a group, but I can see it at DES. How many people show up for changes in rules?
Wouldn't it be worth the effort to look online and see if you can access those records of those public utility?
Yeah,
They're
absolutely.
public records.
And see what they do and see if they have another meeting established meeting? Because if your association went over all together,
I thought we only did beach stuff. and dogs. I don't know what else our
Well,
association
Jerry,
You reach out to
There's
Jeremy.
power in numbers.
And this, they've never, in my experience in this 24 years, they have never been denied.
What's the other person that they should reach out to? Jerry.
Jerry, she's the head of the.
Village district.
I was gonna say, whatever the association and stuff over there, I can never get the three straight, so I don't wanna speak.
Thank you for listening.
Absolutely.
That's what we're here.
I want my taxes really.
Me and you both.
All right.
Okay, I thought you would do board last week.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. I just want to remind all board members that if you're talking in text, that you need to be bringing these things up at public meetings. It was why I put on the agenda. I only asked him because I had two things today. One of them was EOS chair, because of Mike and Tim's discussion back and forth last night. It should be at a public meeting. And I just feel like the conversation went very negative. I thought it would be an easy re-vote, and that's my 2 cents.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I'm sure someplace in here,
My comment, please look at the budget numbers and warrant articles, because we have a hefty agenda next, it'll be, we have to do just those numbers next week.
Good.
Mike? Do you have anything?
I'm good. All right. Entertain a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion at 8:01.
Ooh,
I know, don't see?
well, I start at 5:30.
Nice 5:30, right?
All right, who seconded it?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.